Breaking news, the SEC just declared war on crypto, with Uniswap, the largest decentralized exchange in existence, receiving notice. The SEC moves to sue Uniswap in a bid to hobble the fast-growing DeFi sector. This has been confirmed by founder Hayden Adams, stating, "Today, Uniswap Labs received a Wells notice from the SEC. I am not surprised, just annoyed, disappointed, and ready to fight." And how this affects you as a crypto investor, let's discuss. But just understand, looking at Bitcoin, that this dip happened before the news. Macro caused this, meaning the recent inflation data.
Consumer price index for the month of March 2024 coming in hotter than expected. That core rising 3.8% versus the 3.7% that was expected.
So March CPI inflation rate rises to 3.5%, above expectations of 3.4%, while core CPI inflation was 3.8%, above expectations of 3.7%. This is the 36th consecutive month with inflation above 3% and second straight monthly increase. And to me, what this says to me is these higher for longer interest rates clearly aren't working. This is supposed to be going down slightly, not up slightly, for 2 consecutive months. What happened to the Fed pivot?
Now, there's no denying that this firmer inflation print does put more pressure on policymakers to sustain likely a higher for longer type of monetary policy stance. So I think we're going to hear more and more concern around the onset of the easing cycle in June.
So as long as inflation is increasing, expect these rates to stay high. As long as these rates stay high, expect liquidity out of the market, which is typically bad for risk assets. Let's talk about the Uniswap news, but just remember from our recent Mark Yusko interview,
the Fed, with respect to rates, is reactive.
The biggest Bitcoin bull run in history has begun.
Right? They're not proactive.
The Fed is not a market predictor. They're actually more reactionary.
So they react to the economy, both positively and negatively. So when the economy's ripping and inflation's starting to turn up and growth is high, they'll start to rein back in the liquidity. They'll raise rates and try to slow down the car so it doesn't careen off the edge. And inevitably, that's when they break things because they go too far.
And with the Bitcoin halving upon us, and with BlackRock and the Bitcoin ETFs continuing to buy Bitcoin, suck Bitcoin off exchanges.
Yeah, so I think throughout the cycle, over the next 18 to 24 months, we top 200,000. I think
200,000.
Yes.
Wait, there's a lot of people. I don't mean to single you out, but you pick a very high headline number, and that makes the headline, and everybody looks at you. You really think it's going to be 200,000?
Well, based on historical trading patterns. So what's happening is all the Bitcoin miners, those that process transactions, their reward for processing those transactions is going to get cut in half in a few weeks. Okay, every single halving cycle, which is what it's called when this happens, has led to a triple of the previous cycle high. That previous cycle is about 67,000, previous cycle high that we saw in 2021. So that puts us right at about 200,000 at the end of this cycle. And like now with the U.S. government creating $1 trillion in new debt every 100 days. Okay, the invention of the ETFs making it much easier for many investors to own Bitcoin versus owning a cryptocurrency wallet. We've seen a fundamental change. So I would say 200,000 is relatively conservative.
Now, of course, could that bullish Bitcoin projection be thrown off with this Uniswap news? This one's a big one, folks. Massive escalation by the SEC and White House. Uniswap is a poster child for crypto decentralization. Instead of celebrating Hayden Adams, the founder, as a generational entrepreneur, they're taking him to court. A war on crypto is a war on the internet. And just so you know, this was the official statement put out on Twitter. Today, Uniswap Labs received a Wells notice from the SEC, and we're ready to fight. This is the latest political effort to target even the best actors in crypto, like Uniswap and Coinbase. All Uniswap products and the Uniswap protocol are unaffected. And this is important. That's actually a great note, because while Uniswap, the protocol, that's decentralized. Even if the United States bans it, that means nothing really with a decentralized protocol. Although Uniswap Labs, the founding company behind the protocol, They can be sued, and really that just affects the front end, the UI, the UX, right? Somebody owns this URL. This just makes it easy to use, but really anybody could use the underlying protocol, make their own front end, meaning if one is taken down, 100 more could technically pop up the next day. And in a direct quote from Hayden Adams, their CEO, "I am confident that the products we offer are legal and that our work is on the right side of history. But it's been clear for a while that rather than working to create clear, informed rules, the SEC has decided to focus on attacking longtime good actors like Uniswap and Coinbase, all while letting bad actors like FTX slip by. The team at Uniswap has been working from their offices in New York City this whole time. This fight will take years, may go all the way to the Supreme Court, and the future of financial technology and our industry hangs in the balance. If we stand together, we can win. I think freedom is worth fighting for. I think DeFi is worth fighting for." I put this out on Twitter as soon as it happened. By the way, subscribe to us, follow us, link down below. But a Wells notice is not technically a lawsuit, but this is a typical step right before a lawsuit. And this is like the SEC suing the NASDAQ and expecting tech stock trading to continue in the United States. It wouldn't. It would all get pushed offshore. So this by no means would kill crypto in any sense. It would not. This would just set the United States back from a technical innovation aspect decades. I am watching this closely, more updates to follow. Looking at altcoin news, Vechain makes major announcement on new product launch. As a reminder, Vechain is one of the leaders in supply chain management on the blockchain, adding transparency to supply chain management. And as of yesterday, Vechain has announced the launch of MAAS, a no-code white label marketplace to tempt Web3 and blockchain users. This was the exact announcement. Trading tokenized assets on the blockchain has never been easier. Deploy any real-world asset on-chain in a developer-friendly environment and benefit from an onboarding process that makes attracting users stress-free. So MAAS stands for Marketplace as a Service, and in a direct quote from Vechain, they say, "This product was built to fulfill an important role within the digital asset space, presenting enterprise and individual builders a low/no-code white label NFT platform for selling and transferring digital assets with ease." Also making news is Xverse. Xverse lands $3 million in private round to bring Web3's Call of Duty to life. So if you believe in crypto gaming, if you're bullish on the Immutable blockchain, as this is launching off of that, it's backed by key incubators and launch pads, including KuCoin Labs, Seedify, which is big, Epic Games, and ChainGPT. We are also early investors in this game. We'll always share that with you. And the gameplay looks awesome. Very Call of Duty, very Web 2 in a great way. And what I think is cool is that this is built with Epic's Unreal Engine 5. So looks-wise, I like it. And it is a free-to-play game bringing a fresh take on AAA, as this is, first-person shooters to Web 3. Again, this is a bet on crypto gaming. This is a bet on the Immutable ecosystem, which I'm bullish on. And in a direct quote from their CEO on what makes them different, "We see ourselves as pioneers in the gaming industry because we've built a AAA quality classic first-person shooter with Web3 elements," meaning this is built for the masses, meaning you don't need to understand crypto to be able to start playing. Our hybrid approach is the result of our understanding that for NFT or blockchain games to succeed post-bull market, they need to appeal to gamers in the same way as beloved titles like Call of Duty, Halo, and Counter-Strike have. Anybody looking to check it out, play the game, calling all gamers, outscore your opponents, and win $50,000, set your calendar reminder for April 15th. Link down below, something to keep on the radar. And news for Near, which is an L1, Near to hire artificial intelligence engineers as part of their AI roadmap. So this is very interesting. Some of you remember their co-founder was on a panel at NVIDIA's conference titled Transforming AI last month. Now the chain is gearing up to go full on AI, and the L1 says it believes it is uniquely positioned to make AI open source, given its not-for-profit and decentralized nature. So that's their differentiator. And the company also said that the growth of revenue incentives will always take over at for-profit companies, whereas at Near, its token economy will create value in an open, permissionless ecosystem. So maybe Near will be the L1 for AI, we'll see. And looking into the Blast ecosystem, Blast, which is an Ethereum L2, Eesee, which is a project building on Blast, is a gamified marketplace and liquidity solution for digital assets that provides additional trading volume and lowers cost barrier for entering the market. Starting tomorrow, Eesee will be trading on Bybit, KuCoin, and Gate. And again, I'm also an investor, this one specifically, also backed by Animoca, but cool to see the innovation building on Blast. And looking at Solana, in Q1 2024, Solana has settled more transactions on-chain than Tron, Near, BNB, C, Polygon, Injective, Sui, ZK, Sync, and Ethereum combined, meaning Solana's killing it in usage. Yet, as reported last week, over 75% of all Solana transactions are failing. So the blockchain is not ready for mass adoption yet. So again, some people see this as a positive, it's being battle tested. Many others see this as a negative. You let me know down below. And also on a day that Uniswap, a decentralized exchange, is in the crosshairs. Primex launches a points-based rewards program with CoinList. I am an advisor for this project. It's essentially a non-custodial spot margin trading protocol. So not really the same thing as Uniswap at all, other than it can be used for trading and it's also non-custodial, which I love. And I guess the news today, if you want to farm some points for some free tokens, there's a point-based rewards program with CoinList. The Contribution and Earn Rewards campaign is a program that seeks to foster trader and lender activity within the Primex ecosystem. It will be live for 12 weeks in total and will take place in 6 different stages, with each lasting for 2 weeks. During each phase, participants will be able to earn points based on their lending and trading activities. So if you're a trader, highly recommend. They're allocating 2% of their total coin supply to this campaign to the top 200 participants of each round every 2 weeks. And as of 2 hours ago, boom, an additional 1% of the total PMX supply will be allocated to participants who do not make it into the top 200. So obviously investing in cryptocurrency is always risky, but if you can farm for points for an airdrop, could be big. Also, by the way, don't forget to apply for Season 2 of Killer Whales. Being able to apply just opened up, so if you have a business, if you have a company in crypto, apply. You can get on the show for Season 2. And for me, this will be my final announcement that tomorrow, the Roast of Altcoin Daily / Meetup with Altcoin Daily is happening Thursday, April 11th, 6 p.m. There is a buy one, get one free ticket option if you're from the Altcoin Daily Army, so link down below. Hopefully, see you tomorrow.